Welcome back. Well, yes, we're joined now by Nwazuruahu, who is the head of mission in Nigeria for Leadership and Accountability Initiative. Good morning and thank you for joining us today. Well, talking about getting a lasting solution to the challenges we face in the Niger Delta. Do you think that the required leadership is being provided first and foremost from within the Niger Delta?
Good morning, Chamberlain. Sadly, my answer to that is no. The required leadership from the Niger Delta is lacking, and I think basically that's the reason why you have most of these agitations coming up, springing up from different areas in the region. If you look at it, the successive governments have tried to engage, even though wrong people, but they've tried, from the late President Yaradua to President Jonathan, even to this government, they've tried to engage people from that region. But something seems to be lacking. Sincerity and honesty on the part of those who have always come up to represent that region in national discourse.
Well, if you look a little bit beyond the region, I look at the country as a whole. We know the challenges that we face in this country because almost every sector, they get one accusation or the other. Have we then, as a country, risen above all of those and then deliberately provide certain things to ensure that development does not elude the people of the Niger Delta?
Sadly, the answer to that, and very objective response from me, is no. After the 2015 general election, in fact, events leading up to the general election showed so much division amongst us as a people. It showed so much disunity. And you know, when President Buhari won the election, what was expected of him, looking at the global acceptance that greeted his ascendancy into power, what was expected of him as a leader was to unify the country. As the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the president was expected to heal wounds, to heal hurting hearts, even those who might be seen as not being on his side. He was supposed to come in and unify the nation. And you know, with that unity, we will have been looking at peace as a possibility. But what did we have? We had a president who went to faraway United States of America. And when asked, in public, when asked if he was going to, what his position about inclusive governance was, the president, so unpresidential, said that you don't expect me to treat those who didn't vote for me same way as I... In fact, that statement of creating 97% and 5% is the root cause of the problem we have today. Even we were divided by the #1 citizen of Nigeria.
Had many
so sad and so very, very undiplomatic.
Well, even though I heard people who have said, look, that statement is taken out of context. People argue with different perspectives about that one. But that notwithstanding, do you think that whatever the reasons are recently, do you think that that's why agencies that have been there before the 2015 elections, interventionists as people call them, have not achieved the desired effect or results for which they were established for to the Niger Delta?
Chamberlain, that's a very good question, and I will answer it this way. When people make agitations, they make it to better their lives. They make it to improve their living standards. When government wants to engage them, government should be sincere enough to engage the real stakeholders. What we've had have always been political solutions. They've always been political stopgap measures which do not have any bearing. If you look at how much has accrued to that region by in form of interventions from government. You have the Niger Delta Ministry, you have the NDDC, you have the amnesty program. Look at the billions that have gone into the region. Looking at the region today, it doesn't seem those who stood in for the region to bring succor from the government have been very, very sincere. So yes, it goes back to the same thing, having the government open a channel that cannot be obstructed by selfishness, by greed, by corruption. Let the people feel this intervention directly in their lives.
Give us your example of how that can be achieved.
Well, you've seen the several agitations that came up. The 2014 confab report is enough to give solution to most of these agitations, unless we don't want to be sincere to ourselves and with ourselves. The people came from different regions. Leaders and stakeholders, elders, statesmen in this country came up with a document that will solve 80% of this sense of seclusion. Let's go back to the 2014 confab report.
Go ahead.
Okay. I think you're saying that the government should go back into that confab report. Will that sort of solve the problem we're having in the Niger Delta at the moment?
Suleiman, look at these Niger Delta Avengers. What brought them forth? Is this sense of non-involvement? Is this sense of feeling neglected? I'll tell you, there have always been agitations from different regions in the country. It is not about, because I've heard people speak and say, oh, Niger Delta is a response to Boko Haram. It is not the response to Boko Haram. Niger Delta Avengers, they are becoming the voice of everyone who is feeling that the government is not running an all-inclusive one. So how do we solve this?
Let me come in here. You know,
what the Niger Delta Avengers?
Henry, a moment here. You know, we've always talked about discussion, dialogue. The question that so many Nigerians would want you to answer this morning is, who should the government be speaking to at the moment?
Do we know who the Niger Delta Avengers are? No, we don't. They gave us a list of 4 or 5 people to represent them. You do not represent the people that that are ghosts, that you do not have contact with. Like your earlier guest said, let the government connect with the people of this region. Let the government deal with the leaders of this region. There are known people, and whatever the government seeks to do, because we've always made the mistake of going political when we want to solve issues like this. Let no politician be involved. Let the government deal with traditional rulers. Let the government deal with religious leaders. Let them deal with youth leaders in this region. It is easy to assuage the feelings of the people, but sincerity must be seen to be coming from the top.
But you said the problem here now. We just had a discussion with the Secretary General of IYC. He did say, even from within some of the youth groups, some of them were involved in the last administration in trying to bring about development to the region. They still sort of messed up the whole process. So if you say some of these young people or youth group or traditional rulers should be involved, a lot of people still put some big question mark on this, because they have had an inclusive process in times past which never brought about any positive result.
Suleiman, like I said, it is very easy to do this. Let there be no secret. Let there be no secret. The reason why you have rancor within the rank and file of these groups is because so much money is involved and no one is doing this for the people. If the government says we're giving an intervention of 1 million naira to the Niger Delta, let it publish how this 1 million naira is going to the region. Let it publish the projects that are going to be executed with this 1 million naira. Open it up. If you say you're taking 5 naira to the Niger Delta region and then the leaders come, do not give the 5 naira to these leaders. That is what is causing the problem, and that is why there will always be schemings and schemings and schemings. And we will come back to the same point where we took off. Whatever intervention the federal government wishes to execute in the Niger Delta, make it transparent, make it open. Let the people, if you say, okay, well, because you look at it, people from the Niger Delta still come back and tell you that they are not feeling any intervention of the government. And the truth is, you go to budget office, you check our data, you find out that millions, billions have been expended in this region. What is happening? There has been no openness, there has been no transparency, there has been no honesty on the part of even some from the federal government and then those that claim to represent the region. If you're sending, let's take it for example, you're going to Baramatu, you want to do something there, let the people open it, let it be online, let it be in publications. This is what we're doing. This is how we're engaging them. We're sending these people to school. We're spending 1 naira for water. This is the contractor for the development of this. Make it open. Do not pass money through anyone. The former militant that were granted amnesty. Why are people against them today? Because they seem to have been representing their own pockets. Let us address this holistically. Let us address this wholesale, comprehensively, in a way that the man who goes to the river, whose backyard has been soiled by oil spill and what have you, can understand that, oh, 5 naira came to my region. This is what the 5 naira is doing. Let it be government and the people. Excuse the middlemen. The middlemen have been the problem, and they will continue to be the problem.
Yeah, but Henry, I mean, because I heard you say that even those who have headed those regions and those agencies have not been open. So if they have not been open, as you say, yes, do we blame government for that?
Well, where I would blame government is your money. You are the custodian of the resources of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You are giving this money out as intervention funds. It is your duty to ensure that there is transparency in the expenditure of these funds. You look at foreign organizations when they want to give you aid, they ensure that these monies go directly to the projects that affect the lives of people. Let's have the same thing in this project. The government that is releasing the money, because human nature, oh, people might want to pilfer, people might want to siphon, people might want to divert money. Make it impossible, make it practically impossible for them to do this.
All right, then Henry Nwazuruahu is the head of Mission, Leadership and Accountability Initiative in Nigeria. Thank you for talking to us today on the program. Well, we'll be back in just a moment to have another perspective also on the same matter. Don't go away.